Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. So we will wait a little bit, the other attendees. Okay, so welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining to this webinar. This is the webinar from OneAston, and the goal today is to discuss together about how Alteryx platform is the cornerstone of the self-service data analytics. So I'm Sebastien Peyron. I'm the technical director of OneAston Analytics. Today I'm going to show you, we're going to discuss about self-service data analytics. We're going to discuss how Alteryx is able to answer all these questions. So today there are more than 30 participants that have been registered. So it clearly shows that this is a topic which is really interesting for everyone. And it's clearly show that this is an important shift in the analytics domain. So we will spend the next hour discussing about why we will have to move to self-service data analytics and how it disrupts the today. We will see also how Alteryx platform implement this self-service analytics. And then I'm going to showcase the Alteryx platform using marketing analytics case study. So I'm going to ask you to keep your question for the last part of this webinar. I just want to be sure that we will be able to cover the full presentation within the hour we have today. So don't worry, you will be able to ask your question at the end of this webinar. So before we start, I would like you to answer to a survey, and this survey is quite simple. Do you know Alteryx? Have you ever heard about Alteryx? So I'll let you some time to answer. So, okay, so we have almost 60% of the person which attend the meeting for the moment that say that they definitely know Alteryx. So that's good. It means that's the tool, that's the right place to be. And some people that already have heard about Alteryx, but yeah, maybe with less knowledge about it. So again, hope that this webinar will help you to have a good view on the tool. So nobody have never heard about Alteryx, which is quite good. Yeah, it's okay. I would like to start this webinar by sharing with you a survey that has been done by Harvard Business Review. And what this survey said is, they explain that the business users say that their analytics tool they have to prepare the data or to use the data, they are not adapted at all to their needs. And if we have a look at the figures, we are talking about 93%, which is quite almost everybody. So that's really a big issue, and that means that business users are really not really happy with the analytics. So if we have a look at in detail, what does it mean? What concretely speaking, what are the kind of issue these business users and the organization are facing? We are realizing that actually having a new analytics for a business user takes too much time, and when they have it, they have a lack of agility. They cannot play with the analytics. They cannot update. They cannot improve or optimize their analytics. They are really like just consumer of the analytics. These two kind of issues will drive with a proliferation of what we call shadow IT. So what is shadow IT is directly business users wanting to fill the gap they have with the analytics and to create their own analytics with using tools like Excel, which is real drive, of course, of a lack of data governance, because nobody knows who access which data. Nobody knows if the figures are the good one or not, and nobody knows who will access to the analytics provided by this shadow IT proliferation. Of course, using Excel of this kind of tool will drive also to limited capabilities in analytics. We are maybe stuck with just descriptive analytics, doing some pivot table and not more. And doing this means that every morning when new data coming, data analysts and business users will have to redo the data preparation again and again and again. So that's really a waste of time. So working like that means working in silo. Nobody can share with the other what they've done. Nobody can collaborate. They have no tool to collaborate on the way they are doing analytics. And once data is growing, once number of analytics is growing, business users are facing that they cannot scale. They cannot handle the fact that volume is too big, or the fact that number of analytics is too big. So all these problems, they show really that we need to shift from the paradigm we have today, and we have really to move from what we call a corporate analytics mode, where IT department is creating analytics, is exclusively involved in the creation of analytics. It means that IT will collect the data, IT will transform the data, IT will create the analytics based on what they have understood from the specification of the business users. So maybe it's not that accurate. And IT will also define how the reporting should be done. And here, in this case, line of business, they are really just consumer of the analytics. They are not involved at all, except with the specification and all the run return we have between IT and the line of business in order to validate the analytics. So this is the way we do analytics for a long time. It works, that's for sure. But making a decision will take months between the time where the business user has a new idea of an analytics and the time he will get the answer. So we have really to shift to another mode, to another way to do analytics. And this other way is named self-service analytics. The self-service analytics, the line of business professionals, they are really involved in the creation of the analytics. They are preparing the data. They are merging different data sources coming from corporate system or coming from external system. They will be able to create their own analytics, meaning that they know what exactly they want, so they will be more accurate in the result, and the result will be better, that's for sure. And they will be able to share with their decision maker in order to take decision. So in this process, we really increase the speed of having a new analytics, but it cannot be done without a data governance process initiative. Data governance initiative have to complement the self-service analytic initiative. And usually this data governance initiative can be handled or by IT or by, if it exists, the chief data office. So doing this, with this new self-service analytics way to do analytics, we realize that to make a decision now, it takes more days than months. So that's really an improvement in the way the user will do analytics. So does it mean that IT is now out of the picture when we do analytics? No, that doesn't mean that. It means more than the roles. The roles are changing. IT professional now will be more involved in collecting, preparing the data, providing the good data with a good level of quality, let's say the expected level of quality, and govern all the process to be sure that who access the data is allowed to access this data, and who will access the results of the analytics is also allowed to access it. So the governance, so the publication of the data, governance of the data, and data quality will be still in the hand of the IT professionals. On the other hand, the line of business professionals, we will have a new population, which is data analysts. These data analysts will be more focused on the business. They know the business. They are from the business line, so they know the business. They really understand the requirements. They are the analytics thinker, so they will be able to access the data, to blend the data with external sources or to enrich their data and to execute their analysis. Then business decision maker, another population from the line of business professional, they will consume this analytics, share with this colleague, her colleague, and collaborate a lot with data analysts. And at the end, the goal is to be able to drive business changes. So we can say that's a real change in the way we can do analytics. So now we have understood that this self-service paradigm will reconcile our line of business professionals with analytics, but now let's understand how Alteryx platform implemented, how the Alteryx platform can provide us with the right capabilities. So how Alteryx platform works. With Alteryx platform, our business users or data analysts will be able to collaborate with their fellow to discover the right business asset, to discover what is the data I would like to use in order to do my analytics. They will be then able to connect to whatever kind of data source they have that are available. Then data analysts will use a tool which should be a code-free tool, a really visual tool, really easy to use, in order to be able to blend their data, cleanse their data, what we call prepare their data. So for that, we need to have a tool that provides some components that are directly easy to use and easy to combine. Based on this, our data analysts will be able to build their own analytics. And when we talk about analytics here, we are not talking about just descriptive analytics, statistical analytics. Our data analyst needs to also be able to run predictive analytics or spatial analytics. At the end, Alteryx platform will also provide the capabilities to share their insight, meaning that once the analytics are produced, they have to be shared. They have to be shared in order to take some decision. And Alteryx platform provide reporting and dashboarding capabilities. So that's the way Alteryx platform works. That's the kind of capabilities Alteryx platform can provide. And and from a software point of view, what exactly is this Alteryx platform? So Alteryx platform will be composed from 4 different software working together in a single and homogeneous analytic platform, meaning that at one point you will have one platform, one analytics platform to do everything you need. So the first one is Alteryx Connect. Alteryx Connect is the collaborative data catalog of Alteryx. It means that this is the place where data analysts will have a look at and will look for the data they want to use, or the data they are allowed to use, the data they want to use, and they will be able to collaborate with their fellow in order to understand the accuracy and the usability of the data in their context. Then Alteryx Designer is really the heart of the Alteryx platform. This is the place where Alteryx, the data analyst will create their workflow, prepare their data, prepare their analysis, create some machine learning models. And once the scale, once the volume, and once the automation will be needed, so this is where the Alteryx server will come into the picture. This is where we will need to use Alteryx server. Alteryx Promote will provide the capabilities for deploying and managing machine learning model in order to share model and to be able to use models directly in the information system as a service. Okay, so now we know what is self-service analytics. We know how Alteryx works with this self-service analytics and how it provides the capabilities. So now let me show you how it works in real life with a real use case. So I decided to take a marketing analytics case study. So let's say that I'm a head of analytics of my little store, and I would like to run marketing campaigns. So what are the kind of data source available for me? I have a CRM, which is hosted in the cloud, and this CRM contains the full list of my customers that are in my loyalty program. I also have access to the logs of my cashier machine, meaning that I can know all the transaction, all the purchase that has been done. And I have also access to an external API, providing me with the geolocation information of all the postal code in Singapore. It's quite interesting for me in order to do my analysis. So I'm going to ask my marketing team. So let's use Alteryx. And please, I want to have two different things. The first one is to have, I want to have associated to all my customers, which is the nearest store. So we are talking about geographic information, geographic analytics. And the second thing is I would like to have a customer segmentation, meaning that I would like to segment my customer by different group. And doing that, I would like to use machine learning algorithm. So let's move to Alteryx platform. So I'm just, as I'm the head of marketing, I'm going to connect to this Alteryx server. Actually, for this demo, I decided to use the public Alteryx server, which is named Alteryx Gallery. So here I have a dedicated collection dedicated to me and to my team, and this collection of analytics is named My Little Store. So this is the Alteryx server. This is a place where the allowed user are able to see and to have an access to analytics. Okay, so let me open it. My Little Store customer location. So let me open it. Okay, what is this analysis? Okay, this analysis has been created by OneAston, Sebastien Peyron. This is the second version of this analytics. It means that in the server, I'm able to share different version of my analytics. Here I'm going to use the latest one, and I can know that it's a workflow, and it's a workflow with spatial information inside. Okay, so that's the Alteryx server is really useful to share inside the organization, to share all the analytics that has been done. Okay, so let me just run it. So here I'm able to run it because I'm allowed to do it. So let's do it. I click on the run button. No specific parameter to enter, so can run directly. So now my analytics is running on the server, meaning that it's running on the machine, which is quite powerful. So that's and it helped me to have really good to be able to handle a lot of data. So what's the result of this analytics? I can see that as output of my analytics, I have 9 different files. Okay, what are these files? Actually, I can find a full membership, a full customer listing. Let's open it. Okay, here we are. This is my full list of customers, but with specific information. I can find now that for each of my customers, I have associated one of my store. This one is Tanjung Pagar store. This one is the Serangoon store. So I can see that all of my customer has now a specific store associated, which is quite useful. Once I would like to create a promotion, and I would like to notify all the customers that are really close to a specific store, I will be able to really target the right customer thanks to this information. So I also decided to have per store the list of associated customers. So this is the other way around. And actually, it's quite easy. If I say that I want to send my email for my promotion for Tanjung Pagar, here is my full list of customers. Same thing, same information, but split it differently. It is quite useful. Okay, I can see that I can also have a rendering of all my customers as a geographic information. So here I can see that this is the Singapore map. I can see all my customers which are linked to the Tiong Bahru store. Okay, they are just showing the ID. Maybe it's not really relevant. Let me show the last name. and display the last name. Okay, now I know that my customer assignment is located here, and so on and so forth. So that's quite useful. Okay, so now, okay, that's good. As I'm head of analytics, I'm really happy to have this information. But let's say that now I would like to see what exactly has been done inside Alteryx. So let me just go back to Alteryx Designer. So I'm going to move to Alteryx Designer in order to see what exactly has been done. So I can download, because I'm allowed to do it, I can download this specific analytics in order to be able to display it in the Alteryx Designer. So let me go to Alteryx Designer. Here it is. Okay, so this is Alteryx Designer. So as I said, it's a tool for data analysts in order for them to create their own analytics. So as it's for line of business professionals, this tool must be really visual and really easy to use. So here I can see a first part, which is called the tools palette. And in this tool, we can find more than 300 different tools that can be just drag and drop into what we call the canvas. The canvas is the part where we will do the analytics. We will create the analytics. So let me put this one. Okay, this is input data. For each of my different tool, now I will have here in my configuration window, I will have all the configuration items I have to set up. So for example, this one is an input data. This is a way to access the data. So let me just try to access the data. I access a CSV. Alteryx directly identify that it's a comma separated value. So it is directly identified the information. And here have just a first preview of what is inside my document. Okay, good. Now I would like to understand that actually that's football players. So now I would like to say, okay, let's do a little bit of preparation. So I'm gonna say I just want to have the top 5 of my player. So let me just here reduce my data set to only the 5 first row in my data set. So quite easy, as you can see. And now I can see the result into the browse. Let me run the workflow. As you can see, it's really, really fast. It's really fast. Okay, we didn't do a lot of things. We just do a sample of the 5 first things. But if we have a look at the message, we can see that we did it in 0.3 seconds, and we passed the data set, which is more than 18,000 records, which is really, really a big one. Okay, so that's quite easy to do it. So now let's say that I want to see what my my data analyst, my team in marketing analytics has done with the analysis for my workflow. So I'm connecting to my Alteryx server. Okay, let me have a look at what I have dedicated to me, and I can see that my little store customer location is here. I'm gonna open it, so directly from the server, which means that each time I will do an update inside my workflow and I will save my workflow, it will be automatically republished in my server, which is quite useful with a new version. So I won't override the existing version. So let's have a look at an overall view of what my team does. Okay, that's quite easy. I mean, a lot of maybe tools, but as you can see, they are quite easy to understand. Here, there is a place where I can get my data. So this is the place where I will connect to my data, and I will prepare my data in order to be used. And so what I can say is that I have here, let me zoom in. My screen is quite small, so for the demo, maybe it's not the best one, but that's like that. Okay, so what kind of data I connected to? So I connected to my CRM on the cloud, and actually the data I have is a JSON document, and Alteryx is able to directly connect to a JSON document. I can see what Alteryx is able to extract from this JSON document, But it's not directly useful. So I have to prepare this data in order to, for me, have a data set which contains all these properties for all the different customers. So I will have to do some preparation here, and as you can see, it's quite easy. Three different tools, and my preparation is done. So let me run the workflow in order to see what exactly happened to this data set. So we had this coming from the JSON file, and now if I have a look here, I can see that my data set is now useful. So I have the full list of my customers, and what I can see is that my customers and have all what we call demographic information of my customers, meaning that I know the genders, I know the household incomes, I know the occupation, I know the postal code, the year of birth, and education also. So this is my customer repository, and I will use this in my analytics. So I went from a JSON document to this data set quite easily with only 2-3 tools. So now I have also a list of store, quite easy, just a list of store and the associated postal code. So this comes from my corporate system. And then now what I want to do is to associate one of these stores to each of these customers. And to do so, I will need some geographic information. So I'm going to connect to an API, an external API, and I will get, again, a JSON document because usually API are using REST API, so REST and JSON API. So that's why here I still have a JSON document. With a little bit of preparation, I will end up with a real data set, a usable data set, as you can see here. So all the addresses from Singapore with the longitude and the latitude information. Now, if I want to do some spatial analytics using this, I will have to create spatial point Alteryx point places. This is the way Alteryx is able then to manage the geographic information. So I'm going to just, with this tool, we are blending now the information, and I'm going to just add to each of my customers, because I know their postal code, I'm going to add the latitude and longitude from an Alteryx geolocalization point of view. So this is done with just this tool, so quite easy again. And I will do the same with my store. For all my stores have the postal code, and I would like to add to my stores and the Alteryx geographic information. So if I have a look at my data set, now I can see that I still have my name of stores, the postal code, and now I added a new information. And this new information is the Alteryx geographic points and to do spatial analysis. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, now I have my data. I have all my customers, their spatial point. I have all my store, their spatial point. And now what I want to know is what is the nearest store for all of my customers. And to do so, it can be really difficult to compute. But with Alteryx, I just have to select this tab and to select the right tool to do it. And I will use find the nearest tool. So this is the one which is used here. And just using this tool, I'm able to find for each of these records what is the nearest record in this data set. As a result, we can see now that out of this nearest tool, I can find out now I have my initial data set completing by the nearest store for each of my customers with their nearest store code, postal code. That's interesting also. Okay, so that has been done really easily, as you can see. Now what I have to do is to just provide this information in output files. So as you remember, I provided 9 different output files, one with the full list, and one which will be split by store, and which will be the list of customer by store. So I've done it really quickly, and it's really easy. And as you can see, it ran really fast. here I say, oh, as an option, what I could do, I could maybe try to identify if there is no blank point in Singapore where my store is where my customer has no store. So let's have a look here with this new other tool coming from the spatial analytics of Alteryx. And here I can see that I would like to have a view of the area of my of all my store within the 5 kilometers. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the geographic rendering here. And what I can see is that, okay, these are all my store. This is the area 5 kilometers around my store, and now I can see that, for example, in Punggol or here more in Jurong East, or even here in the East Coast, West Coast, and in East Coast here, I can realize that there are some points where my customers are farther than just 5 kilometers to a store. So maybe if I want to create a new store, I will take this into account. Okay, that was the first analysis. That's good. Actually, it answers exactly to what I asked, so I'm really happy with my my team. I also asked them to create customer segmentation. So I'm gonna check if they have done something. So let me go to my private studio, and I can see that I have another analytics, which is my little store customer segmentation. So let me open it. So again, I'm opening it from the server. And again, it means that if I want to update it, it will be directly reflected in the server within a new version. So let me just zoom out a little bit in order to have an overview. Okay, not a big one also, as you can see. I'm here doing some machine learning algorithm and machine learning analytics, but actually it's quite simple if we have a look at it. So what we have on one side, we have the access of the to the data. So my team started from the previous file we created from the previous spatial analytics. So here I have my list of customers plus the nearest store. And here my team accessed also on the log of the cashier machine, where I have the full list of all the transactions done by all the customers. So in this document is actually is coming from a legacy system, and it's actually a fixed length flat file, but Alteryx can easily access to it and can easily understand the content. As you can see here as a preview, we are able to access to all the different information, even if this file is a fixed length flat file, which is quite old way to do that data sets. Okay, so I'm able here to connect. And here, what I want to get from this is I want to have the behavior of my customer. What it means that I want to be able to understand how many money they spent on each category. So here, I'm going to summarize the data coming from this this data set in order to have for each customer how much they spent on the category tools, how much they spent on the category accessories and electronics, and so on and so forth. So let me just run this workflow in order to have a look at the data. I run the workflow. As you will see, it will be a little bit longer. Why? Because we are dealing with machine learning algorithm, and machine learning algorithms are quite complex to compute. So here I'm running it on my computer, on my own laptop. It would be faster if we run it on the server, on a big server, of course, because of the power of the machine. So that's done. It has been run. So now I can see that from my first data set, my first data source, I have now a data set containing all the data, all what we call the demographic data of my customer, names, education, household incomes, occupation, and so on and so forth. But because I will use a machine learning algorithm, I will need to transform these labels. I mean, here in education, for example, or in occupation, or I will need to transform this label, or in gender also, sorry. I will need to transform these labels into quantitative fields, because my machine learning clustering model can only handle quantitative fields. And when I say quantitative fields, means it's just numbers. So if we have a look at this tool, I just easily created my new field, saying that I want to create a new field, gender as a number, and if the value of gender is F, it will be 1. If value otherwise, it will be 0. And that's the same for education. If education is bachelor, it will be 0. If it's master, it will be 1. And if it's MBA, it will be 2. Then now my machine learning model will be able to handle this information and to segment my customer based on this information. Now let's have a look at what I have on the other on the other data source. Here, this is more all the summary, all the sum of the transaction per product category. So we can see that the customer one spent more than $700 on accessories, almost $700 on electronics, $400 on foods and beverages, and almost $1,000 on tools. Okay, so I have all this information that we can call behavior information now in our data set. So now what we will do is we will blend these two data sets, meaning that we will join our data set to add the behavior information to our customers, and then we will be able to segment our customer based on all this information. This is done by the predictive grouping. So I don't want to go too deep into detail with this, but the idea is here to diagnose the data set in order to understand how many clusters I should have, how many groups I should have, what will be the best number of groups for my marketing campaigns. Then once I know the right number, I can use the clustering by itself, specifying that I want to have only 4 different clusters. And once I have my clusters, I will be able to assign all my different customers to one cluster. At the end, what I will get a list of customers with all the information, so meaning demographic and behavior information. And the first parameter is the cluster to which this customer is associated to. So now I have my groups. So I have my customer segmentation. So what I need to do now is just to extract all this information, to output this information into an output file. And then what I can do is I prefer to have 4 different files, one per segment, in order to easily target my customer when I want to say, okay, let's do a marketing campaign for the customer in the cluster 1, and so I will have directly the information. Okay, so that's perfect. I saw that's really powerful. That's really easy to do. That's quite easy to understand if we do the right documentation on top of it. And so I'm really happy as a head of marketing. I'm really happy with what my team has done. Okay, so let's now go back to our slides. Okay, so I think that I'm quite happy what has been done, and Alteryx is definitely the right tool to create my analytics and to share my analytics with my team. So actually, what we've done with this demo, what we solved. We allowed the business user to access the data. We allowed the business users to run their own analysis. We provide the capability, really new advanced analytics capabilities to our data analysts. And because we are using the server, we're able to schedule our analytics to scale because of the volume of data or because of the number of analytics. And we are able to understand who access to what and who access to which results. So with this demo, we covered all the things. So Alteryx platform cover other topics that I was not able to show you today in this demo, but it can be done in another webinar. Okay, so now I just would like to to explain you what is the link between OneAston and Alteryx, why we work together. Actually, OneAston, and I would like first to start with explaining you what is OneAston quickly. Then we'll discuss about what OneAston does with the Alteryx platform. So just to quickly, OneAston is an analytics company. We operate across the Asia Pacific. We have offices in Singapore, in Hong Kong, Manila, and in Australia. And we are partnering with a company in Europe, an analytics company in Europe, which is BGFi. And BGFi operates in France, in Belgium, in Luxembourg, and in Tunisia. So the key point we have to remember about OneAston and BGFi is that we are doing analytics since 2002. We are more than 260 consultants across the world. And we are addressing BI, big data, data management, and also advanced analytics topics. OneAston offers 3 different things to our customer. So we have 2 different lines of business, let's say. The first one is really a professional services with a local team of experts. We provide also high-level consultancy, meaning that we can provide the strategy, architecture, and prototyping to our customers. And finally, OneAston builds solutions. Builds solutions, meaning that we build industrialized package that can help to answer the more recurrent problems that are faced by our customers. So this is in this line of business that OneAston implemented a self-service data analytics solution, and this solution is based on the Alteryx platform we just seen. So what we solve with this solution, we already go through. So I'm gonna go directly to what OneAston can do with this solution. So what OneAston can do is OneAston can provide you with we are a licensed reseller, so we can provide our customer with license. We can also run audit and architecture and proof of concept mission in order to ensure that our solution is the right solution to use in your context. Then when our customers are in phase of implementation, we can provide support on technical deployment with our best practices and our expertise and experience. We can help our customers to build some new workflows and dashboard. We can help our customer with a team of data scientists to build some machine learning models. We will help our customers to put in place the data governance process based on the Alteryx platform tools. And we can provide also a 24-hour support across the world, actually. We provide also training in order to help our customers to smoothly move to adopt this solution. And actually, we can provide personalized trainings on Alteryx. We can provide business user coaching, meaning that face-to-face, we can help our customers to, in their real environment, adopt Alteryx. And we can provide also data science training using Alteryx platform. So when you take this solution, what you get at the end, you will get a self-service analytics platform that include a data governance solution, that include also a data science capabilities. And all this will be combined with the power, with the expertise and the experience of OneAston, using our all the things we have leveraged in our different previous experience. Okay, so I hope you are interested in this solution, that's for sure. If you are interested in this solution, do not hesitate to contact us. So you have here our email addresses. So you can contact Arnaud Berrier, which is our business developer director, or you can directly contact me, Sebastien Peyron. I'm the technical director of OneAston Analytics. So now we have some time to answer your questions. So and I would like to thank you to join this webinar. And I hope you will be interested in other next webinar coming from OneAston and in partnership with Alteryx. So thank you all, and have a good day, and bye-bye.